Bloomberg every day, and all the economic pundits are saying we're turning the corner. Hiring is going to start up again. Jobs are coming back. Now's the time to galvanize your job search. Now's the time to be bold.
Today is March 8th. We're talking today about careers and how in 2012 fortune favors the bold.
Yes.
And that in this instance, in this time period, you need to just leap.
I think you need to be very aggressive.
Okay.
That's what I'm telling the job hunters I'm working with. Is don't wait for the phone to ring. Don't be passive. I mean, it's always been the message, but now especially because people that watch the economy, like the people on Bloomberg that I listen to every day as I'm driving around the state, they're all saying the signs are looking good. Jobless numbers are falling a little bit. Hiring seems to be picking up. So now's the time to galvanize your job search and go direct, meaning identify the companies you are interested in and let them know you exist. Let them know what you can do.
Because isn't there something inherently like sycophantic about just sending an email to a company and saying like, "Hey, I love what you guys do. Hire me." Like, do you risk not being taken seriously if you do that?
Yeah, I mean, you have to have a good game plan.
Yeah.
Don't just do it willy-nilly.
Well, what's a good game plan for something like that?
You have to know three things. Know yourself and your selling points.
Okay.
You have to know your objective, what you want to do.
Okay.
And you have to know something about the company you're approaching. You know, why are you approaching them? They do something that you can help them do, let's say.
Mm-hmm.
So let's say in your case it's a television company, you know, whether it's Bravo or Food Channel or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what they do. You know what they need. You have what they need in terms of skills, experience. And so you're basically taking those three things that you know and you're putting them together into your marketing, your communication to them. And how do you communicate with them? Well, you have to use LinkedIn and other sources to find out, well, who works there? And if you know somebody that works there, that's great. You just go to that person you know. If you don't, which is more often the case, then you use LinkedIn as a research tool. And you do the advanced people search, which is what recruiters do all the time. In the advanced people search, you put the company name in, and then you put in job titles and keywords. So like VP HR or head of programming, or just keep trying different things. And each search you do, you'll get names. If these people are on LinkedIn, they'll show up. And they're not going to necessarily be, connected to you. They might have a 2 next to their name or a 3 or nothing next to their name.
Meaning that there's two or three degrees of separation.
Distantly separated from you. But then what you do is if you find somebody you want to send your resume to, then you use, say they're a second degree connection. That means you know somebody
who knows
that they know. Yeah, that knows that. So you go through that person. And LinkedIn provides a way to do that. You could also be very bold and just pick up the phone, call the company, ask the person that answers, could you please put me through to Joe Blow?
Mm-hmm.
And then when Joe Blow answers the phone, you say, hi, I'm Kevin Seaman.
I really feel for you with that unfortunate name, Mr. Blow.
Yeah, I found you in a LinkedIn search.
Yeah.
I'm very interested in your company. I'd like to send you my resume. And, you basically take it from that. That's the truly bold, capital BOLD approach.
Yeah.
Some people call that the full frontal assault, and it has characteristics of stalking.
I was just going to say, some people, I believe the police, may refer to that as stalking.
But it also can work. It can work because you can actually impress some people that are ready to be impressed that way.
I like your moxie.
With your moxie, exactly.
Dad, why don't you give our listeners a quick rundown of your skills?
Yeah, I've been a training manager for many years. I've been in the field of employee training and organization development for over 30 years in different companies, different capacities. And also I've been external. I've been a consultant. I started off as a consultant way back when, and now the last 4 years I've been a consultant working across many different companies in many different industries. So you could say that I basically have a skill set around learning, managing change, coaching, mentoring. Those would be some of my underlying skills. In the course of my career, I've been laid off quite a few times, and so I've found myself out of work. And through that out of work experience, I've learned what it takes to successfully manage a job search and how to stay afloat when you're in transition. In transition is kind of the phrase everybody uses. What I've done in the last, say, 5 years or so is I've brought those two things together. My being an expert in the field of learning and organizational development and coaching, together with my experience of being a job hunter and knowing what that process is all about. And I've become I guess you could say, a job search or in transition coach.
Now, you've written a book?
And I just came out with my first book, which I've been planning for years, writing for years.
What's it called?
It's called To Your Success. And I self-published it using Amazon.com's self-publisher called CreateSpace. And the purpose of that book is to help people that are in transition to get an idea of what the process is, what goes into it, and hopefully it'll be a real help to people around the world who are looking for work. How do you, as a person, keep from going stark raving mad while you're in transition? Because it's incredibly stressful. It can be very depressing. A lot of people have no idea how to navigate. So I really try to address the whole issue of how to motivate yourself, how to stay engaged in it even though you don't want to do it, and how you navigate from where you are right now, which is sort of nowhere, you have nothing going on, to getting something going on in your life that's meaningful for you. It's generating cash, generating satisfaction.
Now, in terms of generating cash, and this is a question I wanted to ask you, where do you stand on taking part-time jobs? Not necessarily in your field.
Where do I stand on taking part-time jobs?
Waiting tables,
Yeah.
delivering pizzas.
I would say take whatever work you need to stay afloat and pay your bills and do all that. So definitely take work, even part-time work, project work. It's going to vary case by case, obviously. But yes, take work. And at the same time, continue your search full-time. Always keep in mind that no matter what you're doing, even if you're driving a cab, working at McDonald's, that even though you might be doing that to make ends meet, your full-time job always is looking for your next job. That never goes away.
Now, doesn't that feel just a little overwhelming?
Yeah, it can be incredibly overwhelming.
So
that's why my guide is geared as sort of a motivational guide to give you principles and processes that will help you to stay afloat, sort of mentally, emotionally, in a very uncertain and unsettling period of time, which is that time that you're in transition.
What about when you get that job, when the job comes your way? Do you have any advice for people transitioning back into the workforce in terms of modifying behaviors or mental states from being unemployed to being employed?
Absolutely.
What do you think?
No, I think that's a very important topic. If someone has had a extended search, and many people today they've been out of work 1, 2, 3, 4 years. It all depends upon the person and how adept they are at managing the transition that they're in. And that, again, that's what I try to address in the book. There's a lot that you can do. And even though being in between jobs is not where you want to be, you actually can make the most of it if you stop and think and read my book and pay attention to the many, many other career experts that are out there. I'm certainly not the only voice. So, for example, you asked about part-time work. The answer is yes. There's more. You can volunteer. And that's something that I do at our church, St. Matthias in Somerset. I give quite a bit of my time every month, but I'm happy to do it because volunteering has a lot of benefits for the person that's in transition. It's a way to stay busy, and that's good, psychologically good to stay busy, to have things that you need to do, to have projects, to have people depending upon you.
Yeah.
These are all skills that you would use if you were working, so you're actually keeping these skills in shape during your transition if you volunteer, right? So it's unpaid work, you might say. It's also an opportunity to learn new skills. Learn new skills, yeah. Take on a project where you have to, do an Excel spreadsheet, and you're not that great at Excel. But as a result of this volunteer work, now you're at an intermediate level. Wow, you've just increased your skills. And then a third thing about volunteer work is networking. You'll be meeting people, and in the process of meeting people and just interacting with them, you get to know them, they get to know you. They know people. So this is the whole networking concept: is they know people, and it's
like you were saying with LinkedIn.
And this is the live LinkedIn.
Yeah,
live. This is the live LinkedIn. This is the real networking, and you never know, somebody that you meet through a volunteer activity at, whether it's at a soup kitchen or Habitat for Humanity, whatever you might throw yourself into, might say to you one day, hey, you're an engineer, right? Or you're a marketing guy, right? Or you're an HR guy, right? Well, I happen to know somebody that's looking for that kind of person. Would you be interested? You bet. So the whole using some of your time to volunteer has many, many advantages. So you could take part-time work, you could volunteer, and then a third thing I want to say about using this in transition time is it's a great learning time. Read books. Get on the internet, download articles, listen to podcasts and webcasts. A lot of it's free, and it's a great way to use your time. Participate in meetups, whether they are live in your community or online. And again, you have the networking aspect to that too. So you're learning, you're meeting people.
So I guess
take a class. Teach a class. Reflect on what your expertise is, and then see if you feel confident enough to actually step forward and say, hey, I could teach a class on something that I know, something I'm an expert in. And that's something that I've been doing, is teaching job search skills, teaching time management, teaching stress management. And actually that's really taken off in my part-time work. For most of last year, I spent most of the year from a actual working for pay standpoint teaching stress management, week in, week out, one company after another, undergoing tremendous stress due to the bad economy that we're in, but dying to learn about stress management. So I just offer that up as an example of what you might realize in your own mind and heart if you ask yourself the question, where's my area of expertise that I might actually be able to teach to others?
Well, I think our bottom line here with this conversation today has been the opportunity that being unemployed is not necessarily a burden. It could also be a great opportunity.
The majority, all they see is the burden, all they see is the loss, all they see is the disaster that has befallen them. But if they could somehow come to the realization that they're also, at the same time, looking at a tremendous opportunity, then all of a sudden a vista opens up. And that's, I would say, if there's one really big message in my book to your success, it's really trying to get people to open up their minds and look at the opportunity side of what being in transition offers them. If anyone's interested in the book, it's called To Your Success. It's available on Amazon. Also, please come visit my blog. It's called Here We Are, Now What? On Blogger. And if anybody needs to reach me individually, go look on LinkedIn. You'll see my profile there. Link up with me and then connect with me there.
Does it frustrate you